Crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this book easel card. It's really quite easy. Folds flat. You can see the dimension on there which gives it the look of a book. And you're asking exactly the same question as I did when I first saw it. And that is that going to go in an envelope? How can you post it? And all sorts of questions like that. Well, yes, it will go into an envelope, but it does distort the envelope a bit. But I have come up with a solution. I'm not sure it would go in the post, but I think if I was sending it by post, I think I'd probably put my solution in a cardboard box. So first of all, let me show you what my solution is. I've made this. And what I have used is one of our acetate boxes. So this is like one ginormous belly band, and then you pull out and the card is inside. Okay, so just open that up and that's a card. This is my first one. This is what I call my prototype. Okay. I've made 3 in all, and I've decided, because I've watched about 4 different videos, I decided exactly the bits. I pulled out the bits that were my favourite bits, and I've put my design together. Okay, so this is the one, my first one, which I was really pleased with. Now, if you have a look at the side of that one, okay, and then the side of this one, let's put them side by side, that would be easy, wouldn't it? So this one, the card base goes there, there and there. Okay, this one, the card base goes there, there and back. And you've got the book on the front of it. Whereas on this one, the book actually rests onto this part. So it goes like that. But I'm going to do it like that. I didn't see anybody who actually did the corners, rounded the corners like that. One other that I did make, which I'm not totally happy with because of the way I've decorated it, but I can change that. And that was this one. And I liked this one because it's got such a dark background here, it makes the book look more like a book than I thought the pink one did. I will show photographs of all of these on my blog on the 4th of July, tomorrow. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you all the card pieces that you're going to need, and I will show you how to do the belly band as well. As I say, the boxes you can buy from Stampin' Up. I will list those in the box below the video. All the measurements I'm giving you are the inches for A4 cardstock users. In the box below I will put these measurements as well as the metric measurements, and I will also put the inches for letter size cardstock users as well. So I am going to be using hand penned, let me just move those pieces there. I'm using hand-penned designer series paper with pale papaya. In fact, let me just move these 2 out because they're taking quite a lot of space on my desk. I really don't want to get anything crushed. Yeah, I need a bigger space. Right, okay, we'll start off with a piece of pale papaya cardstock, and this measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 inches. You need another piece of pale papaya which measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/4 inches. A piece of basic white cardstock which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. A piece of hand-penned designer series paper which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. For the book you need a piece of basic white cardstock which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. you need a piece of Designer Series paper which measures 3 5/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Another piece of basic white cardstock which measures 3 3/8 inches by 5 inches. Another piece of Designer Series paper which measures 3 1/8 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And then for the stopper for the easel, a piece of papaya which measures 5 1/2 inches by 1 inch. The layers for the bar for the easel, the basic white is 5 1/4 by 3/4 inch, and the Designer Series paper is 5 1/8 inches by 5/8 inches. In fact, that piece is going to be going like that, and I'm going to do that. So that's all of those. No, you're not using that one, are you? That's wrong. That's your book. That's right. Oh no, I'm getting myself confused because that's going to be going on there for the stopper. Okay. For the belly band, you need. I'd rather take them with this design. I was going to do all of this, but I didn't have a piece big enough, so I had to improvise, and that was to do the strips of the stripy bit, and I quite like that design, so I'm going to do that on here as well. So you need one strip that is 12 inches by 6 1/2 inches, and you need two pieces that are 1 1/2 inches by 12 inches. I've already done one piece. You don't need to see me do two. I struggle with this, and I know you don't like seeing me struggle, do you? I'm too nice for that. Right, okay. So what we're going to do first is, if we do the basics that we can here by adhering it all together, we need to do a bit of scoring. So I'm going to bring my trimmer over, and this piece we are going to score at 2 inches, and make sure you are using your scoring tool, not your blade. It's a mistake that I've made more than once. So that's 2 inches, and then 4 1/8 inches, which is our normal score for our A6 cards. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to fold and burnish that in a moment. Now for the books, you want your right sides facing up to you, because when you fold them, you should really score from the back. Never mind. Right, take the smallest piece, and that needs to be scored at 2 3/8 inches. Now when you're scoring the Designer Series paper, be gentle with it because it is paper. You only need it scored enough so that you can fold it. Then the second piece, the Whisper White, basic white, needs to be scored at 2 1/2 inches. We will need to do some more scoring later when we do the belly band. The next piece of Designer Series paper needs to be scored at 2 5/8, and again be careful because it's paper. And then the last piece of basic white needs to be scored at 2 3/4. Okay, so that's those four. We will need the scoring tool again, but we'll concentrate on the card first of all. So with your card, fold it in half and score it. And then on the other score line, fold that inwards, make sure it's nice and straight, and then score that as well. Now on this one here, we need this piece of, no, that's the book. And we need this piece and then this piece here. So I use Tombow for this. You can use whatever your favourite glue is. I'd like to say thank you to Janet in Australia who requested this card. I had seen it before and I had thought I'd love to do that, but I was put off because of the envelope business. But then when Janet asked me, it sort of gave me the push that I needed. So I appreciate that. Thanks, Janet. So if anybody does have ideas that they want for videos, don't be afraid to ask. If I can do it, I will. Because I always feel that if one person asks for it, there'll be other people who'd like to know how to do it. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to do with my videos. I want them to be things that you would all like to see. If you've got a right and wrong way on your designer series paper, do pay attention which way you're putting it up. Oops. Come on, stop messing about. I only just started. Does that look straight? Yes, I think so. Good, good. Okay, so we don't need to do anything with that one for the moment. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a bit of decoration around it. I don't know if you noticed. In fact, I brought this over so that I could use it to show you when I use my ruler. So I can use the inside for this. If you look closely at the edges around here, you can see that there's a tone-on-tone design. And that's what I'm going to do now. Now you can either do, because this is Papaya, you can either do Papaya on here, or you can do what I'm going to do, and that is, I'm using Versamark. Versamark just gives it like a watermark, if you like, and it doesn't matter if your pad is well used, like mine. On this it won't do any harm at all. And I only go round and do the pattern so it's on the edges, because the rest of it is not going to be seen. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not showing very much, is it? But it just needs a little bit of time to develop, and then it will. And this won't make your cardstock sticky. It does actually dry. You could, of course, once you've done this, you could emboss it with clear embossing powder. Didn't think about that until just now. And use any stamp that you have for this. This one is from Lovely You, which is that stamp set there. Okay, it's this one down in the corner here. So any stamp that you feel would look nice. And it really doesn't matter if you go over the edges. Right, I'll put that to one side. So I've finished that bit, You can do this bit. I have the third release of the Create With Us International Stampin' Up demonstrators, who do the monthly PDF. This month we've done 15 projects using the Sweet as a Peach designer series paper, and there are 15 projects, a total of 87 pages, I think. If you're one of my customers and you put in a qualifying order during July, I will be sending it to you free. If you're a member of my team, I will send it to you free. So if you want to join my team, that would be absolutely delightful. And failing that, it will be for sale, and it's a product that I can sell worldwide. Okay, because I'm not selling Stampin' Up products, it's not a problem for me. And so yeah, I'll put the link to the page in my catalogue on my website below. Now when I round these corners, I normally would use this, which is the trio punch. Okay, I would normally use that, but then normally I'm here by myself and I can just stand up to do it. But as I'm doing a video, I'm going to use my little retired corner rounder, which is the Project Life one that we had a few years back. So on all pages of your book, let's turn it up the right way, you just want to round all the corners. I don't think there's much of a difference with the rounding between these two punches. If anything, this one's probably a bit smaller, but it doesn't matter. If you don't like the idea or you don't like the look of the rounded pages, then omit this bit. You don't have to do this. Well, I'll come back and do the, oh, one more. I'll come back and do the top sheet that I've just stamped on in a little while. Just want to make sure that it is nicely dry. At the moment, Stampin' Up! Do have a, oh, before I forget, you do need scraps of basic white for whatever images you're going to use, your stamps and such like. And I think we'll do the stamping next, because that's going to be a job for the big shot. Okay. I'll come back to Stampin' Up! So the stamps that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using this one here, and that's going to be for decorating the front of my card. Also for the front of my card, I have everything ready over here on my Stamparatus. I'm toying with the idea of having a sentiment across this front bit here. I won't make a decision until I actually get there. Now first of all, right, okay, this is the one that I'm doing for my decorating on the front of my card, and I've forgotten to bring over my Memento ink. Not very good, is it? I've forgotten two things so far. I've only been going for about 10 minutes. Right, okay. Let's put that under there. Oh, of course, I've got that all set up ready. Oh, well, never mind, you have to reset it. Where's some basic white? I'm finding it so difficult to keep saying basic white. Is that? Oh yes, that's big enough. Right, this is a two-step stamp set, so I'm going to do the second step manually. Yes, that's good. Okay, come back to that one. Oh, you struggled with that because you didn't have the right mat on underneath. I even brought the mat over with me so I wouldn't forget. What a dummy. Right, so that can go away. Didn't use it. Needed it, but didn't use it. Now the mat that's in there is the correct one for this. And I have already got my, well, I did have my piece of paper already set up, and this measures 3/8 of an inch by 2 7/8. See where I've stamped it there before, so I know where to line this up. Got a little bit of black on that, so let's turn it over. Smooth down the edges where it's gone through the trimmer, and that looks about right. Okay, so anchor that one down, anchor this one down, Does that look straight? Yes. Well, it's not the end of the world if it isn't, because I've got a spare one that I've already made, but you get the idea. So I might as well do these both at the same time, mightn't I? Let's use that one there. Yep, that's good. So what I'll do is make that one like that. Are you going to be in the way? No, that's all right. Yes, I'm going to be doing this in Papaya. So very gently, very gently. Oh, you're in the way. That is way too high, but never mind. I have got a proper one ready. Right, okay, that's a bit high as well, but never mind. So move those out of the way. I'm not going to need those again. And I'm going to bring in my second step stamping for my flower, this one. And I'm going to use Papaya again. Bring this down as low as I can without blocking your view. And this doesn't line up perfectly. Okay, so that's for that one. For the flower over here, should I stamp it off so it's a bit lighter? Yes, okay. Right, now which way round do you go? I've forgotten. Again, it doesn't line up perfectly, but I know there is a way, oh that's it I think, where it lines up really reasonably. There we go, that's good. And then we need the leaf. So I'm going to use garden green. I think that's too dark, isn't it? Yes, we do it stamped off. I'm stamping off onto my notebook. It's got so many bits of pieces of paper in there with my notes. This isn't stamping off properly because it's on a bump. Ah, now before I can do that, did I pull that piece of paper out? Yeah, no I didn't, so let's use that. Okay, so this is out. I'm not going to be using it because it's too high on there. Right, now I'm going to stamp my stamp for this leaf here, and I'm going to cover up just above it because I don't want it to go onto my flowers. I'll move my hands out of the way so you can see what I mean. Okay, so the bottom half will be on this cardstock, top half will be on this little scrappy lip. Okay? I don't think it's a problem for this one. Is it? Yes, it is a problem for this one. So again, just put a piece of paper over there. I like to leave a little bit of the orange exposed because there's always a gap where the bump of the paper is. Okay. If you're not happy with how it's gone, you just go back and do it again. Still got more on there, didn't I? Never mind, that can stay. It wasn't meant to be. And I always forget this one, that it needs something on the stalk. So what colour do I use? Do I use light mossy meadow? In the absence of, I think I do, excuse me. And I think I tend to use the pen end. It's quite a different colour, but I wish we had garden green as blends. Okay, so that needs die cutting, that needs die cutting, and I think that's probably it. Oh, but by the way, the sentiment is from All Squared Away. Okay, that's the one that I'm using, and that is the other one, isn't it? You are so with, yes, and that's the other one I'm using. So let's put the ink out of the way, stamps out of the way. I can go over there. Before I move on, I'm going to just show you this. You can see the tone on tone. Oops, it doesn't like that, does it? Very, very light. And that's all I wanted. I don't know what that is. So let me just do these four corners. And then we can start putting our book together. I checked with Stampin' Up after last week's video about using the magnetic platform in the cut and emboss machine, because I understand there are demonstrators using it with their cut the magnetic plate with their cut and emboss. I mean, it does work, you know, it's a brilliant good partnership between two pieces, but if you do, it will, and you've got a problem with your machine, it will make your guarantee with the machine null and void, because Stampin' Up say it hasn't been tested. So please be warned. Is that the right piece, or is that the piece? Where's my stamp set gone? Oh, there it is. That's all right, is it? It should be there, I'm sure. 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I haven't lost anything. That's got to be for that one. Come on, what are you doing? There's two leads. Oh, there we go, there we go. I thought it had to be that one. That's that. I'll come back and do that one. So these dies are the dies that go with the hand penned petals stamp set, and the dies are called penned flowers, and they all go with the hand penned designer series paper that I'm using as well. Okay, so that's that. And then I am going to use a retired die here, and it's from the Stitched Shapes. If you don't have this stamp set, I'll tell you what the the diameter of this die is. But you could use any, as long as it fits, you know, as long as you're happy with the way it fits. Might put that on there, don't get lost. That one. Right measurements, about there, about halfway there. So it's probably about 1 3/8 diameter. But this die just fits it beautifully. In fact, did I think I preferred the other one? Not much between them, is there? No. That jumped. Oh, for goodness sake, what are you doing? There we go, gotcha. Right, I think that's all I need to do for that. Put that die there. Put that back. That one there. So these are the pieces that we have. Okay, now for putting the card together, on these 4, on the reverse side, if you want to make things a bit easier, you can score them first, and not score them, I mean burnish them first with the 2 pieces that are, that's on the inside, that's on the inside, on DSP. Don't push too hard on the burnishing, which is the best side for this. So that's the, right, so the correct side is on the outside, okay? So if you've got one where you've got the burnished lines, the cut lines where they go bumpy with the printer, the trimmer, just put that onto the inside. I've got those. Now what I do is, with all 4 of these, I put some washi tape. Not washi tape, I don't. I use tear and tape. Now, if you're familiar with this, you will know that you can tear and tape. But I'm one of those people who tears the cardstock when I tear and tape, so I tend to cut mine. And you're putting this so that you're going over the score line and making the score line in the centre as far as possible. There we go. Right, just give those a little burnish down there to make sure that they stay. This is part of what's going to hold the book in place. Close them up again so you've got your tear and tape on the outside. If you find that you haven't gone very straight, you'll see that it gets thinner. In fact, like this one, look at that. It's thicker here than it is down there. It's not a problem, don't worry. We're going to start with these 2, the 2 smallest ones. That looks as if it's a bit bumpy, so I'm just flatten it down with my foam folder. There we go. And what we need to do is to adhere that in there. I personally, when I'm doing this, like to put a little bit of Tombow along the actual ridge once I've exposed the sticky tape. And the reason I like to do that is because as long as I keep everything closed, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so just along the bumpy bit that you've got there, don't go all over the sticky. If you find that you've done it too thick, just dab that onto some scrap paper. Okay, so just check if, just check to make sure if you've got a directional pattern, make sure you've got it up the right way. Now putting this in, we want to try and put it in as closed as possible, but equally you've got to make sure you get the same sort of gap there, and you've got to make sure that this is straight. So I'm going to, and this fold here goes straight onto the bumpy bit of your score line. So quickly check it, is it right? Yes, that looks good. So push it right into the corner with your brown folder. Okay, so that's one. Now we're going to adhere this one into here and do the same thing. Take this off. A little bit of Tombow. Oh, I know what I've forgotten to do. In fact, before I start doing that, we should curl our pages. I'll do those two last, make sure they're dry. You need to curl these so that they curl backwards, over, so you get a heel on these. It doesn't need to be done too much. I find that if you do about 3 or 4 times on both sides, you can then carefully just fold this. Let me hold on a moment, I can see something's about to collapse off my desk. Right, let's stay put there. Right, okay, so you can see how I've very gently folded it to get a nice fold. I'm going to do the same with this one. Oh. So it's got to go backwards. Just remember that your tearing tape is on the back, on the reverse side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Give it an extra one because it's cardstock rather than paper. And that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, it is easier to do this. Oh, I scrunched that a bit, didn't I? But that's no great deal. It'll be covered up anyway. Okay, so just give that a little bit of a gentle squash. You don't want it to fold. Now, oh, that was silly. I bet you saw me do that, didn't you? No, that wasn't too bad. Okay. As you can see, it's not quite as easy to do it once you've put the pieces together, but it isn't impossible. The thing is, you don't want to make this too bumpy. Oh, and somebody else asked me the other day, why do I use my silica mat? It's because things won't stick on it. It's like this. I've got tearing tape on the back here and it just won't stick. It's lovely. I don't think they're very expensive to buy, and it's certainly worth investing in one. If you put Tombow on it, it won't stick. What other glue do we have? Seal. That's okay. I can be very messy when I'm working. Have you noticed? And I do find this saves me quite a lot of mess. Right, okay. Right, this is where I should have been, so let's carry on. Now I've got that one, let's put some Tombow on it. In the centre again, make sure it's got the same gap top and bottom, and then this one as well. I have seen people who, when they do that curling bit, they've curled their paper around the take your pick. They curl it around this bit here, but I find it just as easy to do the bone folder. Right, put that one in again. Make sure they're all nice and straight. Yes. It's upside down. That's okay. Okay, so that's our book. Now we need to adhere the pages down, and I use glue dots. I think everybody uses glue dots for this bit. And what I do is I expose 3 of them. I use my take your pick. Take one and lift up the first page and put that in the top corner, not right on the edge but close to the edge, and then that one, not right on the edge, so what should you do? Right on the edge, and then another one. Right, so that's the 3, and when you lay this down, pull it back slightly. Okay, make sure you've got your pages straight. Okay, and then once you've done that, flatten it down. Okay, so you've got a little bit of dimension there, can you see? Yes, you can see it going through. It'd be easier if that wasn't in the way, was it? There we go. Alright, so now we have to do all of these. 1, 2, 3. Oops, that went in a bit long way, didn't it? Come down. That's better. If it goes too far down, you're going to lose the bump. Okay. That's it. And then the next one, expose 3 dots. Corner. Middle. And corner. Oops. Not there. That's better. Right. Let's bend this back a little bit. Okay, so that's the total of your fold, your bumpy bit. So now we've got to do the other side. Expose 3. 1, 2, 3. Next one. Bring that back. And the last one, expose 3 dots. One. No, come back. There we go. Yep, that's good. And then this one. Okay, now pull this back. Okay, so there's the book with the bumpy bits. Now we need to adhere onto this one, but before I do that I want to put my ribbon around it, and I want to do it like this so that it looks like a bookmark. Now I would love to use the pale papaya ribbon, but it is too see-through for this, and I can't see what I've done with my ribbon. I am using a retired one. Well, I was planning to if I didn't lose it. Oh, I had that standing on it. Okay, so you need a little bit. Oh, you need a bit more than that because you want a tail on it. So what I'm going to do with this, put the pattern, the design out on front that I want, which is that side. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up a little bit of this and I'm going to take the ribbon, oops, hold on, am I doing this upside down? Yes I am, aren't I? Okay, put that back down again. Let's open up this end. Now when I do the bottom end, you'll see why I don't want to use the see-through. Okay, so put that on there. I'll worry about the end in a moment. Now to hold this bit down, because I don't want to tuck it under, I need to use glue dots. And if you use glue dots on the really fine see-through ribbon, the glue will actually be, it will be sticky on the outside, so that is not a good idea. And also you'll be able to see the bumps of the glue dots as well. So put that like that, and then this one I'm going to put about that. Fold that in half, hold it top and bottom, and then cut. Okay, I missed it a little bit there, so let's just repair it from this side. There we go, that's alright. So that's that. Now we want to put it onto here, and we're going to do exactly the same. we're going to take this piece off, put some Tombow on it, and before I glue that down I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on that as well, right onto the fold of that sheet. There we go. Now this time this is going onto a straight sheet. It's not going, we're not going to curl this because this is like the book cover, if you like. Now what I do, this is what I bought my other grid paper over for. So let's go to the inside, and I need that bit really, don't I? Okay, so I'm working from that dark line there, and I'm going to line this up so that I'm going to turn that over so that is not really obvious. I don't know what that is. So I'm lining this up at 5 1/8 and 10 7/8, and therefore I know that this is the centre. So when I pop this on, still got it up the right way. If I put this like this, I know that I am right in the middle of my card, and I'm just making sure that I've got the same gap. Now what I do at this bit, because it's only sticking on that thin bit of tear and tape, I'm going to pop that like that. I'm going to give that a little while to dry and bring this one back in, and I'm going to put my bridge across here, and I'm going to be using dimensionals. Where's mine? My packet of big ones. Oh, there it is. Look at the back. Right. So I'm going to do to either end. And again, I'm going to be using my little bit of grid paper to make sure that I get this one straight. And in the middle there, I'm just going to put some little ones. It's just for the support, really. It doesn't need it for the glue. Alright, okay. I was going to say to you that at the moment Stampin' Up have a sale on designer series paper, and this is one of the designs that you can buy. If I've got time I'll tell you what all of the designs are. I think there's 9 different packs. They're all packs that are in the new annual catalogue. Doesn't matter which way up this goes. So I want to leave this so that I've got a gap of 1 inch, which is 4 of these. No, you can't see that one. Let's bring this one back in. Right, okay, that's the middle. Now 4 squares is 1 inch. In fact, that looks a bit high, doesn't it? What did I do on that one? Yeah, I think I did 3 last time. So if I put that level with the 3rd line, don't move it. Where did that go? Yes, that's right. So that's on the 3rd line. That's on the third line, so that's got to be nice and straight. Okay. So, shall we do that first or the gluing first? That way, actually. Right, now we need to stick this onto here, and the easiest way to do this is just to put the glue on this bit here. Okay. And then this fits right at the bottom, and you will finish up with a little bit of square exposed, but don't worry about that. We're going to trim that off. But you should be able to go from side to side on this. And to the bottom, it should all line up perfectly. There we go. Now, because we haven't stuck the book down yet, we can give that a good press, and we can also go in and go with our bone folder over that bottom half. So that's good. Now what we need to do is put glue dots underneath these to anchor these bits down. So as before, expose 3 glue dots. So we have 1, 2, again near the edge. Now at this stage, if you're not happy with the size of your bump, if you want it bigger, you can bring it up again. If you're happy with the bump, then just press it down. I'm quite happy with the size of mine, so let's do the other side. 1, 2, 3 glue dots. Get rid of that. 1 in the corner. 1 near the edge. And 1 near the edge. There we go, so that's that. So we have our book that is all good and standing up. Okay, so we just need to decorate it now. Now I've got this, which I am going to put over here, and I have this, which I'm going to put on here. So what I do is I curl it first because I want it to follow the bump. Whoops, come back. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on it. I'll put big ones where it'll take big ones. Any gaps, just pop a little one in. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. I could put the flower on the other side if I wanted. But I think I'll stick to what I've been doing. Yep, that's all of them. Okay, and then we put dimensionals on this as well. No, I should have curled it a bit, but never mind. And of course I will put a B on here as well. I'm working my way through. I've bought 3 packets of this so far. I think the B's are absolutely gorgeous, really do. Okay, halfway, bottom, top. I quite like that one in the middle. Okay, so press those down and it'll make them curl. Get that out of the way. All of these out of the way. Okay, so that's that. The other bit that I thought about doing was that you're so worth it, but it does mean to say that I have to go underneath. It would be alright if it was adhered down, wouldn't it? Happy birthdays. I'm going to just stick that straight down. I don't want to have any height on it because it will make this stick up, and that wouldn't be a good look, would it? That's about right. Okay. Oh, I didn't do. Oh, I did do the other side. It's just come undone. If that happens to you and it keeps doing it, just slide a couple more underneath. Don't know why it's doing it on mine. The others didn't. Okay, so that's that. Bumblebees. Again, glue dots. Oops, no. No, I don't want them to go there, do I? Because this bit's going to close down onto it and it'll probably leave a mark there. So there's that. They should really be on. Oh, I know, that one's quite light, isn't it? So how about putting it on there? There we go. Okay, that's better. If I put it on there, it seems to get lost. So that's that. Now very quickly, because I know time is getting on, let me show you the belly band. Okay, so this is the 4.5 inches piece, yes. And what I did was I put a strip down there and I put a strip underneath there. So I've done that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take off a little bit. And then I'm going to put that like that. Let's bring this one back again. Can you see that? Yes, that's good. Okay. I want it that way. I'm going to use that thick line that's going across there, which is at 5 inches. And I want to have 1 inch exposed. So this has got to go along the 4 inches there. So I hold that there, make sure it's going down straight. And then I pop that on at 4 inches. Now if you're out a little bit, don't worry. Now before that goes down too far, make sure that that is in line with the 4th square. Each of these squares is 1/4 inch. Okay, so hold it like that, pull a little bit glue it down, pull a little bit, glue it down, make sure you're still going straight. And there we go. So that's your piece. And the box, I think these come in a pack of 10. So what you need to do is just fold them. And fold that. And then fold those in. You need to fold them in right the way and then bring them back up again. It's just the crease that you need in them. And then fold that down and fold that one down as well. They're quite easy once you've got the knack of them. When I first did it I was really scared that I was going to break it. Okay, so that's that one. Pull it back out again. Fold those two down. Let's do that short one first, then do the next one. Right, that's it, you go in there. When that bit goes in, it should catch on the side tab there, which will stop it from opening. Well, that's it. You're in. Good. So the card, you slide that in there. Move that back. And what I do with this bit, I just fold that up. As you see, it has a mind of its own and it goes sideways, but that's okay as long as it's not creased up. And there we go, that's locked into place as well, so that's good. Did you lock? Yeah, I think you have. Right, now for this, I am going to experiment with it. I think I have worked out where it needs to be scored. Okay, now don't do yours until I've said yes, it works. The measurements I have is 2 3/8. Two and 3/8. 3 1/4. 7 7/8. Let's move this out. 7 7/8. And the last one is at 8 3/4. Now I haven't tested this. The other one I just did it manually. You know, folded it on the corners of the box. But it's always so much nicer if I can give you actual measurements. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's see if that's about right. If not, I will have to go. Oh, yes, look at that. Right, so to close this, what I do is I put my tear and tape. I put the smallest one on top, so I'm going to put some tear and tape along here. Okay, so that one's on the inside. Now this one I'm going to do it on the outside. Obviously you could decorate these boxes as fancy as you'd like to. They would make absolutely fantastic wedding cards, engagement cards, and things like that. Right, let's do this one first. So that is, we need it to go around the box. Okay, so that's going to go like that. You can push that one down on it, make sure that it all lines up, which mine doesn't, but that's fine. And then this one, lift aside so that you can bring that up. Oh, I've probably not pulled this tight enough. Oh, never mind, you get the idea. And then I just tied the bow around it. That's about right, I think. My reverse tweezers. So keep those flat as you turn them. Put your reverse tweezers to hold the knot in place. Bring this up, fold it in half. In fact, I've never done it like this. Right, I'm doing bunny ears. They're both in there. No, not happy. I'm scared. Let's do it properly. So tie that round there. Through there. If it twists, straighten it up again. Once you've got that far, you take those out. Hold the knot tight when you pull the tails. That's turning. If it wants to turn round, help it and make it go right the way over. That way you'll get a really nice bow. See, look, that's a bit turning as well. Okay. Obviously our ribbons, you can colour them if you use the Stampin' blends. But you need to be organised for that. I'm not. Okay, so that's that. Let me just trim the ends off. And of course, because it's a belly band, the ribbon doesn't have to be undone. But I would certainly feel a lot happier giving this to somebody rather than posting it. If I did post it, I would put it into a separate cardboard box. Take your time, don't rush. That's that. Okay. I've done it upside down now, haven't I? Oh, I'll straighten out for the photographs. The designer series paper. Maybe not. Maybe there's not a right and wrong way. Okay, no, it's not the wrong way. Trust me. Right. Okay. So there's the boxes, and this is the card. So many thanks for joining me today, and I really hope you like this project and will give it a go. In the box below, as I say, I'll put all the measurements, inches and metric for A4 cardstock users, inches for letter size cardstock users. I will put a list of all the products, including the boxes, where they can be found in the catalogues, and there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. And if you do decide to shop with me, first of all, thank you very much. But please make sure that you enter the HOSTESS code before you check out your order, so that at the end of the month when I send you Happy Mail, which is a handmade thank you card from me, unused, with an envelope so that you can use it, plus a handmade thank you gift, if you do that, you'll also get some free product as well, as a token of my appreciation for you choosing me as your demonstrator. As I say, don't forget that Stampin' Up do have a sale on for the designer series paper. It's Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Painted, hand penned, which is what I've used on today's project, In Good Taste, In the Wild, Pansy Petals. And one thing about the Pansy Petals that I found out the other day, I didn't realise it before, but this sheet, this design and this design, all of the pansies and all of the leaves can be die cut with dies from the matching set of dies, which I think are called just Pansy. And then there's Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas and You're a Peach, which is what I've used on this one. So if you need Design Series paper, now's a good time to top up with it. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you give it a try. Look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and of course happy crafting. Cheerio!